So, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the second session of this month's webinar series, where we are talking about decoding your karma. Last week, we spoke about our conscious choices and unconscious choices. And today, we want to continue with uh, understanding our karma with our
Hello.
parents. So, I think we want to re-establish this thing of our understanding of karma, that it is a part of our learning. So if something is coming back to us as a karmic experience, then it is a learning. And when we think about that there is a learning involved, it is not a punishment, but whatever experience we have, in that we are supposed to learn some lesson. Then when we come here on the earth, the first things we need is teacher. We need a teacher to learn something from, and parents are our first teachers that we choose. So based on the theme of life, based on some major learning we are coming here for, we will choose a set of parents. So particular kind of mother and particular kind of father, either collectively similar experience with them or different kinds of experience with both, that is going to trigger things in us. And then in that moment, the potential is that we interpret their behavior in the right way and get the learning. Usually, what happens is when at soul level we lack that kind of wisdom. As a child, we already have a lack of logic. And then instead of interpreting the lesson, we interpret hurt and pain from those situations. And that's how we keep going round and round. And then we all have learned that what we experience with parents repeats everywhere else. So uh, if we understand and if we start living our learning that our parents are here to teach us, then I think that is the beginning of cracking our major lessons in life and coming on the path of living your soul plan. Whatever you have planned for your life, completing that instead of deviating with your free choices. So that is how it is so important. And also because once we are born, we can't change the set of parents for this lifetime. They are there. Whether I stay with them or I physically distance myself from them, I meet them or I stop meeting or, you know, uh, reduce my interaction with them, or whether I tell myself that because they're my parents, I'm supposed to respect them. In heart, how I feel about them is the true tone of my bond with them. So I think today's webinar we want to talk about identifying what is your experience with your parents and uh, how to start living that, how to start identifying your learning in that. That is of course a journey. It can't happen in one step, but then that is where we start understanding the theme of our life. Right, Priya? You want to add something?
Um, the concept of parents, we have spoken in the earlier webinar also that this is one thing which is a constant. So, like Gayatri and I say, that because parents are constant, their behaviors can be constant. Now, what can be altered is how you feel about those experiences. And that's where the learning comes. So, that's a constant, that's a pole which is there. So, when you keep moving to that or moving away from that, is when you realize what is it that I've come here to learn from this constant in my life. So, it can be different, like Gayatri said, it could be different learning with mother and father. It could be a set of parents in a particular way. And when Gayatri says, or when we say that this is a journey, what we mean by that is our mind has the, uh, you know, impatience, I can say, or our mind has the uh, need to complete things very fast or find clarity very fast because the journey is painful. Like it has difficult emotions, right? It will have good emotions, bad emotions, but majorly difficult emotions because that's the experience with the parent. So the mind will try to interpret and make meaning out of it very fast. Okay. But imagine a child who is born to a set of parents and the child goes through whatever experiences from the womb, which is stored in the body, which might not have had any meaning in the mind as yet, but emotionally has felt something. Then the child starts feeling those emotions. Then the mind starts comprehending after an age maybe of 7 or 8 when the conscious mind takes over and there is meaning out of it. And those meanings usually are very difficult conclusions that the child has made out of all these experiences. So today, after a particular age of time, we are sitting here to decode this journey. Okay. And your mind will want to complete it very fast and find, okay, now I found it. Now I want to look ahead and move ahead in life. But this journey from feeling it in the body, feeling those emotions, finding what are those conclusions that anyone has made for their life about their parents or about their life, and undoing that, and all the coping that has been there because the emotions have been difficult. That journey can take a long time. And in this journey, the clarity that the mind has given can change because as of today, the mind can only comprehend so much, which is not wrong. Now, why are we discussing this? Is because many times when we talk of parents and we say, oh, this is what I had to learn out of the experience with them, we try to make the story and we try to keep repeating that. Oh, this is what I have come to learn. This is what I have come to learn. But then concluding that, if we just stay with, these experiences have made me feel this way, there will be some time in the journey that the clarity will become more. Yeah, Gayatri?
Yeah.
So the kind of disclaimer that we want to give is with whatever clarity you have today or you get today, start off. But the experience that you have gone through as a child, which is stored in your body, which is stored in your emotional, being, which is stored as mental understanding, stay with that more and the clarity around, okay, so this person has come to teach me this will come somewhere in between the journey. Yeah. So these are two different, I will not say completely different things. One is dependent on the other, but don't take that as an absolute. Whatever clarity you get, don't take that as the absolute truth. You don't know, maybe that maybe factor will be there in this journey. Yeah.
And you
So
will
that's why.
benefit out of, keeping that maybe, because then you don't get fixated on that, oh, I know what it is and I know, you know, now I'm sorted. Because usually what happens is that if mentally I have understood something, whether it is correct or incorrect. Experientially, that doesn't match, then it becomes a burden. Because then more burden that, oh, even when I know, my hurt doesn't go away. But my learning says, don't feel hurt, look at the learning. But hurt is an experience which will always be more real than the mental understanding. So take this moment, take today's discussion as the beginning of your understanding to get your learning in this experience. And keeping that in your awareness and allowing your emotions to show up in the journey will slowly help you to go through those emotions, go through those hurts, overcome them, heal them, and then all your inner children will also get the learning, not the understanding, but the getting of it, the get it. And that's how you start embodying the learning. So that is the disclaimer that we have, that don't read this today. If you find an answer for yourself, don't take that as it is completely correct. We do not want to discourage that you will interpret it wrong. But even if you interpret it right, that may not be enough. Because mental clarity has come for the adult. The experiences are still there for those past moments, the inner children stuck in those moments. And they might get triggered when you stand in this learning. And there will be an internal fight. So go with your experience. Keep this and keep the element of maybe, so that you can continue to um, explore, continue to find more depth to that learning. And now I think we want to share one way to, uh, just the direction, how to start finding your learning with your parents.
Yeah. Uh, uh,
So,
Before that, I just had something to say, and I think I
okay,
missed
okay. So when you think about your mother, you know, of course, we are going to do an exercise after this, but before that, uh, you can sit and think about one prime complaint that you have about your mother, or maybe set of complaints which has one common theme. So you know that is where your learning lies. That experience with your mother is for you to learn something. And similarly, when you think about your father, then some some prime complaint with your father. And when we were discussing this, we also realized one thing, that sometimes the complaint might be, let's say your bond with your father or mother is straight, good enough. You don't have major complaints. But as soon as a sibling comes in that dynamic, you have a complaint that my sister is appreciated more, liked more. She has gotten more time, or you know, in our family, they treat boys this way and girls this way, and that is how I have sensed a difference, and that is my complaint. So, whatever has been your experience, when you sit with and ask these two questions, maybe you can do that after the webinar also. We are going to do an exercise now, and then you can couple up both the things and you will start finding your answers. Last week, we gave you one pointer as to ask yourself, what are three things you dislike in your mother, or three things you dislike in your father? Even there, you will start finding, your core complaint with them. Or you have at some point you have wished for that, this one thing I wish was different in my father, or I wish the way my friend's father behaves. This was one thing that I wanted in my father or my mother. That will show you what is your experience, which are the point where it hurts the most, pains the most, and that is the place where you start taking that U-turn. Last week we spoke about that U-turn, right? Because now the focus will start coming on, oh, I have felt hurt about this part, or I have felt angry, I have felt sad. So instead of he did this or she did this to me, I have felt is the first U-turn, first point of change.
I got the point, but
Please.
and I think it was more valid after what you said. Uh, because in the journey of healing itself, we tell whoever comes in contact with the Shunya that please don't do any kind of healing in order that something changes in your life. Of course, all of us start there, but that's not the outcome. The outcome is here. My experience, my emotions are changing. How I think about certain experiences and behave in certain experiences are changing. And hence, my world and my life is changing. The journey of healing, we feel, is around that. When it comes to things related to karma, especially when parents, money are involved, when you do things to change something over there, like Gayatri said, I wish my father changes, or I wish this quality comes in my father. So I start doing things. That will surely not happen because they are who they are and things happen the way they happen because that's the way it's meant to be. Very cliched statement, I know, but that's the constant. If you look at it like that and we say, okay, this is not going to change, but my experiences and my feelings and my behavior and my conclusions are more empowering now, then my world will change. No, I will start creating than complaining. So I'm not saying it will surely not change. No, there's no, I don't want to leave you all bitter. But oh, is this not going to change at all? Then that's not what we are intending. What we are trying to say is don't do things in order that something changes. There. That's what I had to add. And it actually came very appropriately after what you shared.
So are we good then? Let's start with the exercise.
Yeah. I think we can stop the recording and then.
Yeah.